The Paula Show is on. The Paula Show. Come on, one and all. I extend an invitation to the Paula Show. Join in the conversation. Transforming behavior, recognizing our Savior, overcoming hurdles, achieving dreams. Together we can succeed.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for season 16 of The Paula Show. It is oftentimes stated that tourism is the lifeblood of Caribbean economies. The aftermath of natural disasters and the current pandemic have proven that the absence of visitors increases unemployment and, of course, financial stress. One entrepreneur has found a way to actively transform her business, and 90% of her customers are residents of Antigua and Barbuda. Tonight on set, I have with me Mrs. Althea Teague James, and she's an entrepreneur and a crafter. She's also a fashion icon. Thank you for staying with us on The Paula Show. More information coming up. And as a matter of fact, I'm wearing her pieces tonight. I am a usually conservative person. And she said, Paula, you don't have to be matchy-matchy. And please, I'm making something for you to wear tonight. So earrings, necklace, and my bracelet, courtesy Althea Teague James. We'll be right back. Stay with us, please. Thank you for watching The Paula Show. Remember to watch The Paula Show via CTV Channel 2 on Tuesday nights at 9 and Sundays at 1 in the afternoon. The Paula Show inspires, entertains, and transforms behavior. Like me on Facebook as well, The Paula Show, and all our programs from previously and for season 16 will be featured on YouTube at The Paula Show TV. Tonight, my guest is Mrs. Althea Teague James, and she's an entrepreneur and a crafter. It's going to be an exciting evening, so stay with us on The Paula Show. Girl, I remember I purchased a necklace and a bracelet for my male cousin in Baltimore. His mom loves it, and he thinks it's off the chain.
Fantastic.
You remember when I purchased it, right?
It was a tiger's eye bracelet.
Tiger's eye.
Yes.
It didn't look like a tiger's eye.
Yeah, it's a tiger's eye bracelet and the necklace to match.
Yes. And what was mine? Because I had 3 bracelets like these, beaded bracelets.
You had a couple different ones, and you got some necklaces to match them as well.
Right. And you think I'm too matchy-matchy, so you want to
get you out of the box a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm so conservative. If I see yellow and orange, I think that's a good combination, but it's a little too bright for me. Yeah, you remember tonight I was saying, I'm not too sure about this aqua bracelet. It doesn't seem as if it's matching my dress. And
well, for me, I'm very flamboyant. I don't go with the matchy-matchy. I like to stand out and stick out.
So don't we know, like you're doing tonight. But interestingly, we are of the view in the Caribbean that if the tourists do not visit, then wow, we'll probably be starving, because tourism is the lifeblood of the Caribbean. And I acknowledge tourism is important. But when you said to me, no, I'm not necessarily affected by the cruise ships not visiting and the visitors not arriving via aircraft, because 90% of my customers are residents.
Yes.
I find that fascinating. How do you do that?
I mean, I try my best in terms of my craft and making jewelry. I try not to stay or limit myself to one thing. So I will, for now, right now in this season, because of the pandemic, a lot of weddings are limited to only 25 persons. So you find that the brides are going more extravagant on their jewelry.
I don't have to spend as much on the reception.
Right. So let me bring myself out and make myself fabulous. So I am getting a lot of requests for wedding pieces especially.
Oh, nice.
And so, and then I sell a lot of different stuff like crystals, and pieces that are great for birthday gifts and Father's Day. And so...
Okay, my birthstone match.
Right.
It's aquamarine. And then I think I see something about bloodstone. So do I have two birds?
Not necessarily. The birthstone are for the 12 months. So you have 12 birthstones. So you have one for each month of the year.
I like sapphire, so people are always asking me
if I like amethyst, and amethyst is not mine.
Right.
But in terms of your zodiac sign, when it comes to your zodiac sign, as I am Libra, I have maybe about 12 different stones or crystals for my zodiac sign. So it's a little bit different.
I'm not into zodiac signs.
Well, a lot of people are.
And maybe that's exactly why I'm not even fascinated about birthstones and colors and all of that. People love local craft.
Yes.
But they've been complaining there isn't sufficient of it. Almost everything that we see that we can use as souvenirs, made in China.
I don't think there's not sufficient of it. I think local artists and artisans are not exposed as much. We don't have a place where we could go. And all of us, you know, I mean, we do the, right. And then, you know, you can go there and you're getting authentically Antiguan. There's some people who do pop-ups and, you know, stuff like that.
But it's not consistent.
It's not consistent. So you don't have to stay like, okay, you could go down to the vendor's mall and you get, you know, you get stuff there. Some of it are handmade. Not all of it are handmade. But you don't have a place where you could go and say, okay, I am going down to that spot because I know I can get locally made hot sauce. I know I can get locally made jewelry. I know I can get locally made candles,
some tree
clothing.
Branches that have some fancy
things. Exactly.
Remember some time ago, we went to Panama for a church event.
Yes.
And in the midst of all the church activities and praising the Lord and everything, we got time off.
Yes.
And we found ourselves at a huge craft market.
It was so amazing.
We didn't even know what to choose because we were inundated with so much craft, and it was all made in Panama
by Panamanians. It was so amazing. The talent, I mean, from bags, and it was awesome.
Oh, even that thing, what do you call that? You rocking it, you tie it on your veranda.
The hammocks.
The hammocks.
The hammocks.
Even the hammocks in brightly painted colors, ceramics.
It was really
tiles,
nice. It was very refreshing, and I think we need something like that where we can just go and, I mean, you have the craft market, for example, but the craft market, I mean, it's
probably
mixed.
limited.
Right.
And you have some
stuff so you need a place where you can
overseas.
Just go and say, you know, you can find Althea, you can find so many other persons. We have local gin made here. That is very good. And stuff like that, it needs a bit more exposure, I think.
I went to Chile, and we were shopping for souvenirs in a mall. And even there you have imported from China. I must tell you that I love local craft wherever I visit. So Central America, South America, Dominican Republic, they have beautiful crafts. And I love the artwork. So
I've been there as well.
Yeah, I purchased the scrolls, then I return to Antigua, and I take them to this place on Fries Hill Road. It's Alana Flack's place, across from the ladder. Island Photo. And my girl Terry and Asker, she will stretch it, the canvas, on a wooden frame, and then I'm able to display that. So I did that when I went to Africa. I did that for Dominican Republic, and I was told if I think I have nice artwork, I should visit Cuba. And I'm waiting to visit Cuba. But girl, let me take you back to Chile. So we're in the mall and we're looking at souvenirs. I collect mugs, so I'm always hunting for nice mugs. And then I said to the young lady who was my chaperone, why don't we go to the Aborigine, not Aborigine, but the indigenous people area? And she said, but it's kind of far, we'll have to drive there. I said, well, let's make arrangements to go there. Girl, it was a village in an open place. and you had all these little kiosks.
Right.
And you could go from one to the other, and you're walking miles, and you don't even realize it. Ceramic and tiles and clothing.
And all handmade.
Oh boy, I had the time of my life.
I can imagine.
Oh boy, wind chimes, I like wind chimes, so I'm always shopping for wind chimes as well. I said, but our leaders travel, our culture ministers travel, our tourism ministers travel, and if a citizen can access these places and notice what we can do to ensure that craft is kept alive in Antigua and Barbuda, why is it they can't see it?
Yeah. I think it's a bit unfortunate that we're not more exposed, but hopefully we're heading down that road, and someday we'll have that little place. And I'll be there too, because I want to be there.
And you're sure that if we have that place, that it will come alive with craft?
Oh, yes.
You're sure?
I am positive.
But how many people in
There's
Antigua?
so many
really?
persons. There's
doing just jewelry?
Not only jewelry, but I mean so much different handmade things, from clothing to
I know this girl from Barbuda. No, she's from Antigua. She does crocheted swimwear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, thank God for Facebook. So a lot of people, including myself, get a lot of exposure from there. But a lot of us don't have shops because, I mean, come on, rent is ridiculously expensive, you know, and we just need a place where...
And you need capital as well.
Exactly.
You probably need a grant injection of funds to get you started.
I think there's some grants available, not quite sure, but I think there is some grants available for persons. But I mean, having a product and you can't really have anywhere to display it properly is kind of hard.
Well, let's hope that when the decision makers watch this program tonight and they see your display, look at that beautiful stuff there, and my ensemble here that I'm showing off, and later you're going to be teaching me how to make some of the bracelets and next.
And then we're gonna do earrings and bracelets.
I hope it's simple styles because you're extravagant.
It's gonna be.
You told me you also work with stones to create beautiful products. I am wondering, do you import the stones, or are you able to source the stones in Antigua and Barbuda?
Some stones I do import because we're limited I'm limited as to what I can get here in Antigua. So I do import. My wire is imported because they don't make wire here. But some stones I do find here. I find amethyst crystal. I've found clear crystal, as in crystal quartz, and I've turned them into beautiful jewelry, mostly necklaces so far. I've done a lot of wire work on it. So I do find stones here that I am gonna change into different things.
Maybe the beach? Have you found, because I've seen colored stones on the beach.
You can find some agate stones at certain places and stuff like that. And I do.
Do you have to dig for them?
Not necessarily. Some of them, well, with the crystals, yes, you may have to dig for them, but some of them, they look like normal stones. You have to know what you're looking for. And once you know what you're looking for, you can spot it, know that it's a crystal. When you break it, the inside will show you exactly what it is.
I suppose you might be just walking on a pathway, going someplace.
Right.
And then you're able to see something unusual about a stone.
A particular stone. And
so maybe I have stones at my property that you might just look at and say, hey, that's something special.
Exactly.
Because to me, a stone is a
stone. Is a stone. You have to have an eye for it. You have to know what you're looking for. And I'm very much into stones and crystals, so I'm always looking for them.
So you're walking on the beach.
And
instead of enjoying the sunset and the waves crashing on the shoreline, you're looking for stones.
I normally do, yes. I enjoy the beach too, but yeah.
I see green stones on the beach. I see yellow. I see blue. But these are the stones that you might find on land. You're saying they're not as colored as the ones at the beach?
No, they more look like like normal
Natural.
stones. So, but when you break them on the inside, you will see the crystal that has formed.
Well, girl, you don't want to go to places like Brazil and Africa.
I
where
wanna go
you
to
dig
Africa.
it, yeah, you
I
dig in
very
the
much wanna go to
soil,
Africa.
and sometimes you find unusual
Yes.
stones.
Some of my stones are from Africa.
Yeah.
I try to get them from where they mine them because normally they're cheaper than
Okay.
paying a third party cost.
Right.
So I get some of my and that's why some of my pieces I would have a maybe let's say a turquoise piece and some persons would wonder why it's so cheap. It's not cheap as in it's not costly, but it's less than what they would pay somewhere
Yes,
else.
less costly.
But I
Yeah.
don't buy it from certain places because I'd have to pay maybe a third and a fourth party cost. I just get it straight from where they
Directly
mine
from
them
the source.
and get them in bulk. So I get them for a reasonable price that I can pass on a reasonable price.
And it's
to
good
mine.
that you're getting them in bulk because let's say someone sees one of the styles that you've done, one of the pieces that
Right.
you've done, and that person makes a request. It might not be the identical style,
More often
but
than not,
at
it's
least
not. Yes, you can get
have-
something with that
Yes.
particular stone. Yes, I try not to repeat pieces because I know everybody likes to be. Well, I like to be different.
Yes.
I don't want
So
to,
all your pieces are unique?
Not all. I have some that can be remade.
Uh-huh.
But take, for instance, my wedding pieces and some of my more big chunky pieces,
Yes.
one off.
One off.
You're not getting
So
two.
if you are not the purchaser in the first instance,
You're not going to
that's
get it. That's it. You might get the same color.
Yes,
You're not going to get
not
the same piece.
style. In a recent conversation, I heard that more than 100 small businesses have closed in Antigua due to the pandemic. And I totally understand that situation because my business would have closed as well if it wasn't for 4 P's: prayer, plan, perseverance, and prayer again. So I started with prayer, I'm
you're
ending with prayer. These are some key success factors to
Definitely.
any business.
Definitely.
You have to pray, you have to plan, you have to persevere through the hard times, and you have to pray again. And you have said to me that your business is progressing even in these hard times because of the choices that you've made.
Yes. Like I said, I didn't conform myself to a small box. So I do many different things.
Yeah.
I didn't stick to just bracelets and earring. I moved it to necklaces. I even do some candles as well.
Candles?
Yes, I do.
Look
It's called,
at you.
called Meaningful Scents, where I infuse, I put some of the crystals, especially the ones that I find in here,
Yes.
in Antigua, and
Right.
I also use like little roses and flowers.
That's
and
nice. How
Yeah.
come I need candles? Can we make candles on set?
Well, we can't make
We
candles
can't
on
make
set.
candles on set tonight.
Not tonight. Probably
Another
next
time.
time.
Another
yeah.
time. Okay. I just need to ask you this. Was craft your first love growing up? Because you do it effortlessly.
Not really. I actually wanted to become a doctor, a
medical-
pediatrician. Yes, actually.
Oh, well, listen, you still have an opportunity. And the American University of Antigua, they offer full scholarships to all residents of Antigua who qualify. But I shouldn't say all residents because it's a particular number of
Right.
students
Okay.
per semester, I suppose, and you have to qualify. So I guess if you've done your biology and chemistry and all of that, if you haven't done them,
I'll
then
have to go back to
you have to
school.
go back to, you have to return to school, get them done,
Yes.
and listen, you're not too
You're
old
never
to
too
study.
old.
Yes, and little children like older pediatricians because they give them lollipops and stuff like that. So you wanted to become a medical doctor.
Yes, definitely. But I always loved craft. I always liked doing
did?
things with my hand. I would have, children over doing things with them. So I always loved craft, but it's not what I intended to do.
Okay.
But
What about sewing? Because usually people who like
yes,
the jewelry making and all of that, they
I
like to
sew as
crochet
well.
and knit and sew
I used to crochet. I used to knit. I love craft on the whole.
embroidery
I used to do all of that.
and making the jewelry boxes from the lollipop sticks
Yes.
and
As a matter of fact, I've done outfits for myself.
yes.
I've made, I think, shirts for my husband, like African print stuff. I've made skirts for my mom.
African fabric from Malawi. So maybe you could make something
Maybe.
for me. Look at that.
Yeah, I love craft. Once
yes.
it has to do with craft, I am present, please. So I do every carnival. I do T-shirts. I cut up those T-shirt masks. Yes. Yeah. So I saw
these people would request a particular style, or they leave it to you.
No, normally they request a particular style. Normally.
Listen, we have to return to Africa. Girl, there's a craft market in Lilongwe, Malawi, where I was for most of the time. We had the opportunity to visit the craft market. One would think that the craft market is in a specific area.
Right.
Several streets of this craft market. Yes, an open space, and then along the route to that open space, there's streets and streets of vendors.
Oh, wow.
The wood, what do you call it? You use wood to make these like artifacts, and there was fabric. Mrs. James, fabric like I have never seen. Beautiful patterns. I was constrained to select fabric because I wanted all.
It was so much.
I wanted
it was
all,
just too many
and they
choices.
were so beautiful.
I can imagine.
But then, you know, you're traveling on an aircraft and you have to be
contented.
Exactly.
With one or two things. Can't overdo it.
And I don't know that I can send any via surface, mail, you know, boats and all of that. So I just had to select a few pieces and leave the remainder. But let me tell you, even the souvenirs in Kenya, oh, baskets and baskets and baskets of souvenirs in Ethiopia. Souvenirs! And they're all made in Africa. No imported from any place. They're all made there. I say, boy, these people are really skilled, you know?
Yeah, we have skilled people here too, just not as exposed.
Yes. Listen, we all have to take a trip. South America and Africa. And we should be fine. Craft became a major career path to you. You said because of an interaction with a manager at Sanders.
I was walking down Market Street one afternoon, and the entertainment manager for Sanders at the time, she was looking for the Jamaican patty shop, and I was the person. She stopped.
Wow.
So I started giving her directions, and in mid giving her directions, her eyes, my piece on my neck. So she's like, where did you get that? That is so nice, and you know, it's so unique and such and such. So I said, I actually made it myself, and I did my earrings as well.
Wow.
She's like, you're kidding? So I said, yes. She said, listen, we have a local day every Friday at Sandals, and I want you to come showcase your pieces and sell. And it was from there I took it as a profession. That was in 2009. I actually took it as
the next level.
And it was all uphill from there.
That's divine intervention. That is not coincidental.
That is not coincidental. And it was actually at the time that the world was going through this economic depression or downturn. So it was weird that, hey, I actually needed this. And it was just right on time.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah,
it was right on time. It didn't happen before or after. It happened right on time. I remember blind school. That's when I was, I guess, first exposed to craft on a large scale. You remember blind school and the straws, the baskets, and the hats, and the mops. Beautiful pieces. I don't think they do that anymore.
I think they still do.
They still do?
Yeah,
Maybe
I think they still do. Probably the mops and stuff. I'm not quite sure, but I think they still do.
So some time ago, I invited a crafter to the Paula show, Miss Williams. She's from Yorks. But she doesn't do the jewelry.
I know Miss Williams,
Right. She mostly works with the Madras, the Independence fabric. And she had some beautiful bags and hats and
she does fabulous work.
Oh, it was really, really off the chain. And I have a hat now, a nice black hat.
And she does
tied
some
with Madras
beautiful
fabric.
fascinators.
Yes, yes, she showed me those as
Yes.
well. I would
Talented.
I would not have been exposed to such a hat in the past if I had not met her. I would not have been exposed, and I would not have thought about purchasing one.
Right.
But when she showed it to me, I said, "Oh, this looks interesting." And then, not only it looks interesting, but when I tried it, I said, "No, this is a keeper. I'm keeping
want that
this."
one, definitely.
Yes, I'm definitely keeping this. Anyway, we are people from Africa originally.
Right.
We brought our dance, we brought our food, we brought our music, and we brought our skills in craft making.
Yes.
But then external forces caused us to alter our creativity.
Right.
I think it's time that we return to our African heritage in terms of craft,
Right.
so that we respect and protect the memories of our ancestors.
Definitely.
And that is why you're on the Paula Show tonight, because the wire bending and all of that you're doing,
It came from somewhere.
It came from somewhere. And trust me, I see this in Africa, and it's equally beautiful. And I think that we have to preserve our ancestral heritage and return to our natural craft, or original way of making craft. It will be more durable, and it will attract more attention, and could possibly lead to exports. So don't downplay your skills. Hype it up. Local craft is important. How long did it take to make this?
A few hours, maybe about, the bracelet took me the longest actually.
But you did tell me you were going to make it for me.
Yes.
So when did you do this?
I did it today, between,
Today?
yeah, today, between 9 and 2.
You did all this today between
Well, I
9
did
and
other
2?
stuff, but the bracelet took me the longest. The bracelet took me like an hour and a half.
Just an hour and a half?
Yeah. See, I'm getting so much better at it that it's taking me less time, which is better for
You mean it could have been longer?
Yes, if I was good at it, which is better for the person who's buying it,
Yes.
because they don't have to pay so much for time.
Okay,
So,
I got you.
Yes.
Well, listen, see if next time around you can do it in 30 minutes.
I shall.
So we pay less.
Definitely.
You make jewelry for special occasion, and you were telling me about the wedding pieces for the bride.
Yes.
But then, what about the bridal party?
I also do wedding pieces for bridal parties. I do for everyone. I do for the
flower
bride,
girl.
the flower girl, the maid of honor, everyone.
Ah, the grooms?
The grooms,
No,
mainly,
not-
not really.
Not really.
If they want a bracelet or two, but nothing, they're not very flamboyant.
Oh, there's some men who are
But
really
that is
flamboyant.
true.
But listen, in order for you to make this for me, I had to send an image
Of
my dress.
In terms of brides,
Yes.
I like to speak to them directly. So I like to see the picture of the dress. So I would, if they need a bracelet, I say yes or no. Depends on where the sleeve cuts.
Right.
You may not need a bracelet.
Because if it's very long,
You don't need a
then
bracelet.
You don't need a bracelet.
When I was getting married, I didn't have sleeve. I didn't have anything. It was like a nice halter and a
Simple.
very
But
simple.
My boy, Leonardo da Vinci, he said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication.
That's right.
What did you do for your pieces?
Well, my pieces now, I made an ear cuff.
What's
An
that?
ear cuff.
What is that?
It's an ear accessory that goes at the back of your ear, but it has a lot of spikes going up with different beads or crystals.
That sounds like the costume that I saw in Wakanda.
Oh, really? Maybe it is.
Stuff like that.
Right. And then
Yeah.
I did a necklace. I am, like I said, and I've always said, I am very flamboyant. I
Yes.
love over the top.
unique,
Yes.
unusual pieces.
So my
eye-catching.
necklace
Yes.
took me 3 weeks.
But
and-
my necklace took less than maybe
You
an
should
hour
see
today.
my necklace. It was made with
nice.
1,600 to 2,000 beads.
Wow.
And it was like hollow beads, so it wasn't very heavy, and like probably 3 rolls of wire. So it took me like 3 weeks. I had to go back to it all the time.
That's elaborate.
I'm an elaborate person.
I understand that 90% of your customer base is
Local.
residents
Yes.
of Antigua and Barbuda. What about overseas clients?
Well, I have shipped to places. I have clients in the US, Canada. I have in St. Vincent, Dominica, St. Kitts, Grenada,
Impressive.
St. Lucia. I have
Oh.
quite a few clients in St. Lucia. And I was even contacted by someone someone shared one of my posts on Facebook. And I was contacted by somebody in India.
Oh yeah, they like beads
Yes.
and you know that type of jewelry.
And they were very much interested in my pieces, and they were, because of how extravagant they were. But I have a, you know, an overseas base.
Good
And
for you.
Yes.
And how have you been promoting to this overseas base? Just via Facebook?
Via Facebook, and I also have a store on Allmat. It's a local app. It's like Amazon for Antigua. So I have a store on there, and a lot of my customers from overseas would go there and browse, and they would make purchases from there, and then I would, you know, wrap, package, and ship.
You said some time ago that your son was interested in craft and jewelry making.
Yes.
And you allow him to help you.
Whenever
he's
he's 5 years old.
Just 5.
And he's been interested since he was about 3. He actually did some bracelets. I didn't bring any, but he actually did some bracelets. One time he took up all my little beads, and I had some beading rods. They were like spring rods.
Yes.
And he made a lot of bracelets.
I hope he has his own line.
Well, not yet, but soon. And he will make necklaces for himself or for like his aunts, and he's a
that's
very thoughtful
nice.
child.
Yeah.
So whenever I am doing any of my craft, he wants to come and help. So I have to thread a needle for him with the elastic and give him a portion of beads and let him do his
Well,
thing.
listen, that's one of the problems that we black business owners face. Our children are not following in our footsteps. And so when we die, or if for whatever reason we retire, we might have to sell the business, or we might just have to not do business anymore.
Right.
So you just ensure that your son continues to walk along that path that you have created.
Well, for now, he's very much into his craft. So let's hope that he stays that way.
Keep him that way.
I will try my utmost, yes.
And I was telling you earlier about my male cousin in Baltimore and how he
Right.
loves his bracelet and his necklace, and his mom actually adores it as
Right.
well. But men in Antigua, do you cater to men in
Yes,
Antigua on a large scale?
Yes, I do a lot of male bracelets.
So of the
men-
90% clientele in
males-
Antigua, we have some males up in there.
Yes, yes. They love their bracelets.
They're
The
nice, actually.
the male bracelets, I have to do a little bit stronger.
So why are they more sturdy than my bracelets?
Because they don't have a lot of finesse as women do. I don't want to diss the men, but
yeah.
they do everything with
They
their
paint,
jewelry.
they fix the car,
They don't take them
mow
off.
the lawn.
They don't take them off. So
So they might get scratched.
they
or
might get scratched.
broken.
Well, they're authentic beads, crystals, or stones. So
Not
they're not
likely
really,
to
yeah,
scratch,
Yeah,
but
but
it
the
might
elastic might pop. And so what I offer though in my business is that once you make a purchase from me,
Yes.
once you can find all your pieces for your jewelry, it's repaid forever for free.
Wow! Forever.
Forever.
I have a string of pearls, and from time to time, I have to restring it. I didn't purchase it from you, but may I please have the courtesy of...
Well, I'll charge you to restring it because it wasn't my piece. So it will...
You're actually telling me this on the Paula show before the show ends. I feel as if I want to take a break right now. Permanently, the show is going to end. Can you imagine?
Well, for you, I'll probably do it.
Oh, okay.
But-
I like that comeback. So the guys, you have a
I also have a royalty line.
royalty
yes.
line. I like that because you know I like royalty. Tell me about that. So the ladies, our stuff is not called royalty?
Well,
Not
no,
really?
that's a particular line.
Okay, tell me about this royalty line. It's male?
It's
for the
male.
males?
It's for male and their sons.
Oh, males.
And their sons.
So it's a father-son line?
It's a father-son line.
Father's Day.
Yes. It was inspired a few years ago by Stacy. She's a makeup artist. And
Stacey Humphries? I know Stacey.
she asked me to make something for her son and his dad one time. And she told me, you know, the little particulars. And it was such an inspiration that she did that. And I'll give her the props for that line.
Yes.
Because after I made that and she sent me back the pictures, it was so inspiring. So I decided to create. So every Father's Day, I put out a line for fathers and their son.
And they
embrace
absolutely love it.
After Father's Day, I have none left.
I love what you're doing. I encourage you to be the best that you can possibly be. Be a woman of excellence. And even if you have created a piece and then you notice one flaw, don't think that anybody else will not notice it. Remove all the beads, remove all the stones, and fix that one flaw. Because a flaw can break your business. Yes. I know sometimes the inspiration for this Paula Show program and the communication work that I do, it comes late at night.
Right.
So I sleep with a writing pad beside my bed and pens, because if I get a word in the night or a theme, I want to scribble it quickly, because sometimes I get a jolt and it's a creative jolt and I say, oh boy, I can't move right now, and then by tomorrow morning
you forget it.
Totally forget it. And for days I'm trying to remember, because I know it was something hot. I don't ever remember what it is. Do I have a witness over there?
Preaching to the choir here. You're preaching to the choir.
So you sleep with your beads and your wife?
My table is set
Not
up
on the
right
bed?
in right in the room.
Because they're going to prick your husband.
He is so patient. God bless his soul.
Praise him.
Because my beads and everything are on and if you know anyone that does craft, especially beaded, it's not a pretty sight.
No?
It's not a pretty sight.
But the beads are so colorful and beautiful.
It's beads and it's wire and it's pliers and it's strings.
Yes. Like a workroom.
Right. So, but he's very understanding, so I'm very thankful for that. So yes, you're preaching to the choir.
I see him helping you to set up the table this evening on the Paula Show. And I told you that I admire a gentleman who helps his wife.
Very supportive.
And I equally admire a woman who helps a gentleman. Okay? It goes both ways. We have to reciprocate. Anyway, inspiration. Mine comes late at night. Sometimes yours come late at night.
Yes.
In what other ways do you get your inspiration?
I draw inspiration from many places. It can be like as simple as going to the beach and seeing like a wave.
A wave?
And you create an earring that is wavy. And you know, like with a nice blue stone
unusual.
as the end. Yeah, it's weird, you know, but I mean, I see maybe like a coconut branch and the way the leaf falls, and I would make a necklace. I made a necklace from safety pins a few years ago.
Safety
pins and like a crystal clear seed beads. And I was at Sandals and a lady was getting married 2 days after.
And she purchased it.
And she got married in a safety pin necklace. So the inspiration comes, and it was like the coconut branch.
Yes.
It was like coming down.
Oh, as opposed to it just...
Right. So it comes down and fall. And so in my inspiration comes from...
Just anything.
Anything.
So you might be here at the Paula Show tonight and you look around and you see something and
then
you
I
decide.
may go home. Exactly.
Okay. And while your inspiration visits in unusual ways, when you start a product, a necklace, an earring, or you don't therefore have a style in mind?
Not necessarily. Sometimes I would take wire and I would just start messing with it. And then I would start twisting beads with it. I don't see anything. And I wouldn't put it down. It doesn't matter how long it take me for me to see something coming from it or seeing a pattern that, okay,
You're at
this
4
is fun.
hours and
I'm
it's
at
not
5
done as
hours.
yet.
I'm like, sometimes my husband is fast asleep and I am up.
It sounds
And I'm
like
just,
Charles
I'm
Worth
just
and Paula.
twisting. And I'm twisting. And then when I finally see something, I can finally rest. But if I don't see anything and I decide,
won't
okay, let me
stop.
put it down and I'm going to go to bed, I won't sleep because I'll be like tormented to finish this
Yes.
piece. So I go on until I see a particular style and then I would finish maybe the pendant and add the neck piece to it afterwards. But that, I guess that's how my creative mind works.
Remember I said earlier, 4 P's. Prayer, plan,
and
perseverance, and
pray
pray
again.
again.
Yes.
And that's exactly what you've been doing there. So your unique pieces are as a result of sweat, sleepless nights,
Yes.
creativity, innovation, and sometimes even to the point where you may not be spending sufficient time with your family
Yes.
because you're into your
I'm
groove.
into it. And when I'm into it, it's not
Yes.
something that I can get out very easily. Even if it's something as simple as a bracelet.
Yes.
I will make one and then a style pop up for another and another and another. I remember one time I sat down and I made, and it may sound simple, I made like 60 bracelets. And 60
60?
And 60 bracelets ain't nothing easy to make. Although it's just simple beading.
Yeah.
It's finding 60 different styles.
But you had a moment of creativity
So I
and you
just went
didn't
with
want
it.
to lose it.
I didn't want to lose it.
Wire wrapping sounds like fun and it sounds also complicated.
It is if you don't know what you're doing, but I
Ah.
have been doing it for a few years. I am self-taught, and if you don't know what you're doing with certain wires, it can damage you. So some people...
So you work with, you use
I work,
gloves? You
no,
work
I
in
don't.
gloves?
No, I think I've mastered it
Oh.
a bit, so I don't.
And
I try not to damage
you're packed
myself.
with confidence, like
Yes.
my supplements are packed with minerals and vitamins.
It goes with the fact that I love what I do and
Yes,
I have a
passion.
serious passion for it.
Yes.
So I try to learn as fast as I can with it. So I do a lot of wire wrapping. It is complicated if you don't know what you're doing.
You gave me all blue and just the 2 pink and the
No,
charm.
well, you can
I need
create,
another design.
you can create it.
Wait, how do
Don't
I-
put in the charm yet. You put the charm for last. So what you do, you go ahead and bead blue. If you want some
But I
others,
need other colors.
like,
I need. Remember, you told me I had to break out of this conservative
yeah, so you can put
mold.
you can put some colors in the pattern. So what you want to do is remove the beads that you don't want there, the blue ones.
Oh, and
put
replace
it,
them with-
So you can put it where you
Oh.
want it, creating your pattern. Before you start beading, you just put your pattern on here. So you see your pattern, and then I like
But then
that.
when I'm done, if I feel like changing the pattern,
You'll have to do it all over. Well, I have a lot of that, I do a lot of that.
yeah.
Yes, changing my pattern and stuff like that. Because when it comes out, I'm like, I don't like this.
I don't know how you can make a bracelet in an hour. I feel as if.
Those bracelets, I don't even take 15 minutes to make. Those
Listen, don't embarrass me.
So when you carry it back through, make your beads. This is what makes it durable.
Yeah.
Because the elastic is already strong. So if you take it through another time, you can only make the bracelet stronger. And then you tie it,
Okay.
tie it. And then you cut
see.
it.
I made this bracelet, you know.
I know you made it.
I
And there you have
made
your
a
bracelet.
bracelet. I made a bracelet. You spoke about artisans being talented and needing the exposure and the opportunity to showcase their products
Right.
and even services. Why don't you plan an event then? Why don't you plan an annual event?
I am a part of a group of talented people. It's called the Artisan Traveling Market.
Artisan traveling market.
Yes.
Abroad?
No,
Just
We
local?
travel locally.
Oh.
We have done Nelson's, not Nelson's Dockyard. We have done out the harbor, out English Harbor.
Okay.
We have done the ladder. We used to do the ladder.
Okay.
We have done. We've been to
Several places.
and it's where, if it's not made in Antigua, you cannot sell there. So
Very good.
everything there is locally made. You have
And original.
original. You have from ponche, you have slippers, belts, bags, you have clothing, you have vodka, you have candles, you have soaps.
I'll pass on the vodka.
You have you have
Candles. Candles?
Yes, candles. You have so many things. You have a lady, she does dog biscuits.
Dog biscuits.
Yes, local dog
My
biscuits.
dog loves biscuits.
And stuff like that. So it's like
Nice.
it's just a burst of
And
creativity.
this is done every quarter?
Well, we haven't done it since the pandemic hit. Well, we did it once, I think.
In 2020?
In 2020, yes, just before the Christmas.
Okay.
But we haven't done it since then.
Okay.
But
understandably so.
right. But we are hoping to get back on because I miss it so much.
Yes.
I miss being around those creative people because it inspires you to be even more
That
creative.
is true, because when especially youth visit the Paula show, I don't know from where this energy emerges.
Right.
But I begin to feel so youthful
Exactly.
and almost,
Because you're around,
you know,
you're around
yes,
that same energy
yes.
that is in you. So everything.
So my energy is
Exactly.
attracted to that energy, and I become, you know, a
yes.
little bit.
And that's it's a really, and we will maybe have maybe 25 stores, 15 to 25
Wow,
stores.
that's a
And
lot.
They know they're getting quality.
Yes.
They know that if something happens to go wrong with whatever, because I mean,
It can be
it can be repaired because you can find the person. You have to
Yes.
ship it back to China or ship it back to the US to get it
Yes,
repaired, and
yes.
it's just a nice vibe all around.
Yes, it's a convenient way of
Yes,
shopping too.
yes.
And I like that, because what you're saying to me there is there is a capacity for people to showcase their products and services.
Yes.
A lot of people in one space at any given time.
Yes.
We can do it once per quarter.
Well, we're hoping because when we used to do it like every second and last Saturday out at the ladder, and then we'd do it.
You did it more often than once per quarter?
Yes, we used to do it out at English Harbor. We used to
Okay.
do it like every third Thursday or stuff like that.
Oh, you did it several times per month?
Yes, we did
Okay.
Alibaba's every Christmas.
Nice.
And wherever we
No,
go,
you
we
have to get
draw a
back.
crowd.
You have to get back on track.
Yes, definitely.
You have to get back on track.
Our coordinator, Janda, she is working hard to put us back
Back on
on.
track.
She has brought together some of the most amazing artisans you'll ever see. I mean, paintings and even food.
Paintings?
Yes, even food. You have people cooking there on the spot. Or,
Really?
Yeah, it's a nice little lime as
I'm
well.
not foodie, but you just said something that caused me to perk up.
Yes,
Painting.
we have paintings.
I like
we have-
paintings.
yes.
I like paintings.
We have a
whole
lot of
I like
talented
candles too. I really do like
Candles, I mean, body wash,
Yes.
body spray,
Oh!
stuff for your hair. It's just
Naturally
a,
as well?
yes, it's just a burst of creativity.
Let me know when you guys are ready.
Most
and
definitely.
I'll invite your coordinator to the Paula show so we can speak some more about this particular event.
Definitely.
I promise you. Okay. We're leaving the Paula show tonight. And I'm going to allow you to speak to my audience about the importance of artisans to Antigua and Barbuda.
We have a lot of talented persons here, and without the support of the local, the public, we can't continue to do what we do. We definitely need a space where all of us can come together like every day, and you can find us there. So we need to have that here. We need to have that done. And know that when you're supporting an artisan, you're supporting a dream, you're supporting families.
I love that thought.
You're supporting families.
Well, Althea Teague James has been my guest tonight on the Paula Show, and we've been speaking about craft and the importance of artisans to the economy of Antigua and Barbuda. And to add another spin to this, keep our heritage alive.
Definitely.
Our dance, our art, our craft, our food, our music. It is our heritage from Africa, and we have to keep it alive for generations far into the future. Thank you for staying with us on the Paula Show. Have a good evening. Goodbye.